Yo, Joes, it's your fellow grunt, a momentary genius here with his first playthrough, or first match, I should say, of the G.I. Joe Wolverine, a new premium tank destroyer for Era 2 in Cold War. I know, I thought we were done with G.I. Joe, but damn it, Wargaming brought him back. But at least they brought him back with some new tanks. So, as is with how I do all my first matches, I definitely try to demonstrate to you that this is the first match, no shenanigans. As you can see, I have just bought the Wolverine and am now setting it up, getting a brand new commander, no skills whatsoever, which can kind of hurt me, as I can't fully get the potential of a tank out of a tank with a commander with no skills. But with the Wolverine, which is based off of the Swedish S tanks, or the S103, STRV 103, to be more specific, going in with a commander that is very specifically set up to such a very unique tank, it may be what's best for this tank. With that said, it has like 25% XP earn, which makes it a good crew trainer. But this is such a unique turretless tank, the S tanks in general are, that they take a bit of getting used to. Um, I That's why I kind of went with this tank, because I am familiar with the S tanks, because my first Tech Tree Tier 10 tank is the STRV 103B. I have I'm very familiar with that line. Well, okay. I only have 50 battles in the STRV 103B. Well, something like 130 in the STRV 103. So, yeah, I was not too opposed to this type of tank. And that's why I wanted it for starters, because yes, an S tank in Cold War mode, yay, my preferred mode. But also, this thing comes with some interesting tricks. Mostly those two obnoxious missile pods, where you will have in each clip, as it were, 12 missiles. But they will fire in 2 round bursts before there will be like a 10-second pause, whatever. That's really interesting, and these are some of the weaker missiles, but they keep the fun factor high, and that's what's really good about this thing, is the fun factor. Combined with the fact that you have a decent main boom snout, I think it's like 105 millimeters. The whole switching from the missiles to the main boom snout really comes off more effective than, say, with a WZ-122, because there's less of a delay, and it's a more consistent stream of, you start off with the primary, and then you go boom, you do the missiles, and it can kind of like boom, boom, boom. And then 2 seconds, boom, boom, more missiles. It is something like that. I haven't got the reload down stuff like that too low, but there is some serious volley fire, at the very least, we'll say. But I think the real question is, should you consider even purchasing this tank? Simple answer. Do you like S tanks? Do you miss being able to play them in Cold War mode? If you do, consider it. Because right now, as you saw, the base price for this is 11,000 gold. I don't think that's going to lower. And with a tank that does get good concealment, because it's a tank destroyer in Cold War, those missile pods really do uh, ruin the concealment. They stick up really high. So there's that. Um, and for anyone else, if you have no idea how to use siege mode, and even if you're interested in go to World War II, start on the Swedish TD lines. You should play it safe that way. Do not jump into this tank because not only do you have the siege mode, but you have the multi-weapon system. And the one thing I've noticed in my plays with this is shockingly button mashing. Because for once, now it sort of happens with like the BMPs, with switching from the primary to the missile launcher, is you sort of get confused a little bit and timing and stuff. But with the siege one now, it's like, yeah, you can, if you're trying to do a combo attack, which is a very foreign concept in this game, you start button mashing, you start fumbling, and your thumb's not going where it needs to be going, and you're not doing what you want to do, and that kind of leaves you hanging and as a target. So, yeah, if you have the gold, you know how to play an S tank, and you're really looking for some fun, for some childish toy tank fun, pick it up. Uh, I be honest, I do have a lot of fun. This is a very enjoyable tank. It, but it's not overpowered. Do not think for a second it is, because while like the S tanks in World War II, once you have engaged the drawing a blank here, siege mode, and the armor's properly angled, the hull of the tank is properly angled. Yeah, you can bounce a lot of rounds. I've blocked a surprising amount of damage when the enemy's firing standard rounds and heat. Oh god, I wish, and I cannot wait for the SRB 103B to be introduced with the garden fence heat shield in the front. But for now, I'll just make do, because it's great when you're being fired upon with standard rounds, but once the HE and the Hesh, which may have low penetration but can guarantee damage, yeah, you're suddenly in a tank that's more akin to butter than it is composite armor. So, yeah, you have to keep that in mind. And then, of course, anything broadside goes right through. Weirdly enough, if I understand it correctly, I haven't really tested out. The missile pods are not part of the tank's hitbox, so they don't take any sort of damage, like not even modular damage. But while the bloom for the main boom snout is big, you can really get accurate. That reticle really gets narrow, and it quickly uh, returns to center very quickly out of the frame because of the siege mode. That really improves stability. Someday I'll try to just go use the primary boom snout only and not just missiles, but it's too much childish fun to use both in a combo. And as you can see here, good view range. I've taken the center here in Desful because I need, hey, at the very least, I should be able to get detection, especially as this is uncontested, which is great for a tank that is in no way, shape, or form a brawler. Don't face hug. Especially if you're out of siege mode, because then the hull of your tank really doesn't provide the proper angle, and a lot of tanks will be able to shoot down. Here I am giving a, hey, it's another G.I. Joe toy tank. It's the Mobat. I'm saying hello to him and please go away. But thankfully, this is something that I knew when I really started playing Cold War, is tank destroyers like the S tanks will probably perform better than their World War II counterparts because of the true vision. because of certain ridge lines, certain hills, and certain objects will provide the tank to be concealed, but properly angled to where the gun can shoot over. The armor will be angled correctly to block, but they will also be able to see and engage the enemy at a distance. I'm really feeling that with this tank. Missiles, they're slow, maybe hit, maybe don't, but the main boom scout really works well. So I'm excited to see what the future holds in the very most likely distant future for the S-Tanks. Wargaming has a lot more on their plate right now for the console division to be worrying about bringing in a whole new unique tank line like the S-Tanks. An interesting, so a little side story because I was curious about this tank because I'm not really a big G.I. Joe fan. So looking up, the Wolverine is actually based on the M50 Ontos tank destroyer. Now we have that in game. So I asked on the World of Tanks Council Discord why they didn't use the Ontos. Well, dum me, I got an answer that was pretty funny. It was actually the STR 103 was the one tank they had already available and in-game that looked similar to the G.I. Joe Wolverine, or at least the toy. And I actually did look up the toy, and it was interesting because Hasbro and the cartoon artists, what they did, they just extended the hull of the M50 Ontos and added 2 more drive wheels, changing the shape. And yeah, it does look more like the STRV 103, which is what we have here now as the main form of the G.I. Joe Wolverine, as opposed to the Ontos, which, if they want to be 100% accurate, Wargame could have taken their much long time, oh, good English, to essentially design a whole new tank, because they'd have to design a whole new hull. And let's also be real, I don't think Cold War is in a position to where a ATGM firing only tank or fighting vehicle, in this case, not a tank, a fighting vehicle would really work or be appreciated, because I know there are some ATGM fans and a lot of ATGM there's some haters, and but there's just a few that still haven't quite got the hang of them, and it does take some practice. So here I am, I've been taken out. I had fun. This is a dumb tank that brings a smile to my face, but it can actually be effective, so it's not that dumb. I cannot wait to learn more and get more experience with this tank, because it is a hoot, and I'm sorry, it's a dumb tank that brings a smile to my face, and it achieves what it does. It makes this video game fun. So if you like what you saw and like what you heard, like the video and and subscribe. And with that said, I hope the RNG is in your favor, and I hope you keep your treads on the ground. I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.